Hi, chat. I have a feeling you guys are gonna like this one, so strap in. Let me start out by saying I am not endorsing drug use of any kind. I'm just saying these are my experiences. This is what I enjoy in my off time, and also I made a mistake and it cost me. So don't let this encourage or deter you from doing whatever you want. I'm just doing that part so I can edit it into a video. Because I know I'm gonna have to. This story is too good to not put into a video. The other day, I'm gearing up for the Eclipse that was going over North America. And this was super, oh god. Then I realized there's not too many times that you get to see a solar eclipse. I was like, you know what? I'm going to purchase myself. I'm going to purchase myself an edible. If you don't know what an edible is, I'm referring to edible marijuana. So what I bought was a 100 milligram chocolate bar. I have had 100 milligrams of edible THC, and I have been fine. I've been influenced, but I've been fine, right? So the eclipse is coming up, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be somewhat influenced for this. So I ate like half the chocolate bar, which should be 50 mg. As I ate that, Levi goes, that much won't really affect you. And oh god. And Levi was saying that from a place of love. Because it's true, that much usually didn't affect me. So I was like, you know what? Yeah. But Levi goes, just eat the whole thing. Just eat the whole thing. I was like, oh yeah, totes. That makes more sense, right? So I ate the whole thing about 3 hours before the eclipse. We were already out of work at this point. And, I wasn't really feeling anything. And I was like, whatever. It happens, right? Sucks. I spent money on it, but it happened. And then I went into the bathroom and I was feeling fine. I got up from the couch. I walked into the bathroom to go talk to Levi, who was at the sink. And all of a sudden, Levi starts talking, and I am just like... I got hit by this truck. But I get hit by this truck that is... And all of a sudden, I am pushed back into like the recesses of my mind, not even realizing what's going on anymore. And then I looked up at Levi, and all I said was, oh no. At this point, I was like, oh, whatever. Because what I thought this was just like a really strong reaction. And, oh, that's cute. What I thought this was a really strong reaction. But it wasn't gonna get much worse. Because that's how it usually works with edibles. You get hit like all at once, not much happens, right? From there, right? This is 3 hours before the eclipse. And I'm like, alright, whatever. I'm gonna go sit out on the couch. Because we planned to sit on the roof to watch the eclipse. And I'm like, oh, I'll be fine, whatever. And all of a sudden, I am now realizing slowly that moving is too much. I am very quickly realizing this is gonna be a lot worse than what I intended it to be. And I was like, why am I this messed up? And then I realized I ate it on an empty stomach, which you're not supposed to do. And that's when I had to now come to terms with the fact that not only was this bad, it was going to get worse. So I'm sitting there and I am just stuck in my own fucking head and everything feels so wrong. And like my face honestly at points felt like it was melting. I could not open my eyes for points. It was bad, right? And it was at this point I realized not only was this bad, it's gonna get worse. Because now I'm sitting there and I can barely feel anything. Moving, if I even had my eyes closed and I was moving around, I would get like so like sick feeling. So I'm having problems, right? But now I have to come to terms with the fact that like, how am I gonna get outside to see this fucking eclipse? Because now it's to the point where just like moving my arm, like without anything else, moving my arm, I was not okay. So I'm just like trying to come to terms with everything, and then I slowly realize I'm gonna vomit. Like at some point, not right now, but I'm gonna vomit because my body is going to reject what's happening. And I hope it happens sooner rather than later, because if it happens sooner, then I will digest less of this thing. 2.5 hours later, the eclipse is about to happen. And I am having like the worst time I have ever had in my life. I am so high in this moment that, you know how you can get pins and needles in like a body part, and that's because there's no blood flow going to that body part. If you let that happen too long, that's bad, right? I was so high that I knew that my left leg was not getting blood flow, but I couldn't move my other leg that was on top of it off. And Levi's over at the window, like basically watching as the eclipse is coming in. And I now have to find a way to get over to that window, get some glasses on, and look at, the sun. I get over there, and for me, this felt like a 2-hour battle of me sliding my way off the couch, hitting the ground, and slowly crawling like inch by inch, fucking clawing my way, just eyes closed towards the ground, crawling. All I had to do was my door is right over there. My door is like 5 feet away, maybe. I had to crawl that distance. For me, it felt like it was 2 hours. And Levi later told me that it took me like 20 minutes. I am so fucking high. I was so fucking high. I'm having all these problems. And I finally make my way to where I can see the eclipse, like when it's gonna happen. I am literally laying next to a window on top of like some pillows that Levi got for me. And with the Eclipse glasses on, I can barely move. And I'm just staring. Just zonked out. And I know I was because when I checked that spot today, there was a puddle of drool. Like, I had fought my way to this window to see this natural phenomenon that only happens like every 30 years or whatever. And I am so zonked out of my head, but finally, I'm sitting there just like head down because everything hurts and my eyes are closed. And I don't want to be a part of the world. I want to be gone. And all of a sudden, I see, like, I can kind of hear everyone. I am not paying attention because it is not my most pressing... Oh, shit. It's not the most pressing matter, right? But all of a sudden, I hear people chanting. Like, they're celebrating. Like, woo! That kind of stuff. And I open my eyes as I'm looking down, and I see that everything has gone dark. I missed the part where everything went dark. But as I looked down, everything went dark. And just suddenly it's super cold. And that wasn't from me being high. That was from the eclipse, which I did not know at the time. I did not know. It like dropped like 5 degrees. I can't guarantee that, but that's what it felt like. But I've gone through hell to get here. And I with my glasses on, I look up, like I look up in my stupor, and I look up and I see it. I see this black ball with light around it, and it is so fucking beautiful. Like, I'm not sure if it's because I was messed up, but like, it was so fucking pretty. And I'm like, I can die happy now. At this moment, I was so zonked. I'm like, the rapture's coming. I don't care. I'm dead. I'm dying right now. I was ready to... And I passed out right there. Or so I thought. Because I don't remember this, but I somehow made it back to the couch. And I'm sitting there and I'm struggling. And this had been about an hour after the eclipse. At this point, I'd been high for 5 hours. Not ideal. And at that point, now is the time my body went, you should vomit. To which I tried. My body digested every fucking part of that chocolate bar before it even tried to get rid of it. I'm still mad. I'm still mad. But I'm sitting there. And I felt better after I threw up, but not much. Like, I blacked out. I don't remember the night of the eclipse or the morning of the eclipse. I had to call out of work because when I woke up in the morning, which had to have been... So let's see. At this point, 5 hours... plus another 2. I woke up high. At this point, I was high for 15 hours, which has never happened before. I almost want to go back and check the packaging on that chocolate bar to see if it said 100 or 1,000. But I had to call out of work. I was like, I can't go to work like this. And then I somehow like, somehow Levi got a ride to work, because usually I'm Levi's ride, but I don't think I drove. When Levi gets home, I am still passed out. I am passed out. This was yesterday, and I woke up at about 2:30, and I was still not cool. I was fine, like fully fine this morning. I was not high for that whole 48 hours, but it fucking felt like it. And that's my story of what happened during the eclipse. And I thought, it's done. Whatever. I accidentally OD'd. My fault. And then I got to work today. My work, you have to leave a call out on the call out line saying like, hey, I'm not gonna be in. Yada yada yada. I'll be back this time, so on and so forth. Click, right? I remembered to do that yesterday while I was high. Someone showed me my message this morning. And here's what I said. I'll see if he can send it to me. But hello, this is Bryce Noel. My employee number is... I said it. I really don't feel good. And I think it's because of the eclipse. I'm gonna go get the moon now. Bye-bye. And I hung up. And that was my call out. And the better part of that is, it's not like it's just my manager that sees that. The call out messages go to every manager and the owners of the company. So I had people coming up to me today asking if I got the moon. And you know what? I didn't. But I will. That motherfucker.